So the Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive. I have the 2023 Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive here in Canada, and I've owned it now for 16 months and put on 30,000 kilometers. Is it still worth it? Would I recommend getting a Tesla now or in 2025? Let's take a seat. Now let's jump right into the serious business. So is it really worth it to buy a Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive, especially if you live in a wintry climate like I do? I'm going to break down all the costs here on my Tesla Model Y and what it's cost me. I have spent $1,118 Canadian here in Canada charging my Tesla Model Y. Now, $840 of that was on supercharging and third-party chargers as I drove 10,000 kilometers to Florida and back. That's two separate trips going down there and back. So about $420 per trip is what it cost me to drive there and back. Gas car would have cost more, but I'm going to break down the gas equivalent here shortly on what it would have cost over 30,000 kilometers. But if I were to have charged this Tesla Model Y solely at home on my overnight charging rate, I would have spent $280 charging the vehicle just at home. Let's call it even $350. That is very cheap compared to the gas costs here. So here is an economical equivalent. So if we were to buy a Honda CRV hybrid, that's a 2025, that would cost you about $50,000 plus taxes, whereas the Tesla Model Y is going to be $60,000 plus taxes minus a $5,000 tax credit. So let's give or take $5,000 more in order to get the Tesla. Now, don't forget the upsell and upcharges that Honda is going to do, but rough numbers, it's $10,000 more, but you're going to get a $5,000 tax break on the Tesla Model Y. So realistically, it's more like a $5,000 difference between the two vehicles, Honda CRV or the Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive long range. So differences: Honda CRV hybrid, it's going to get you 790 kilometers a tank, supposedly. The Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive long range is supposedly going to get you 525 kilometers of range. With a gas vehicle or an electric vehicle, you're going to have some range differential from the EPA rated range. The gas car in the winter, it's going to have less range. With an electric car in winter, it's going to have less range. For perspective's sake, let's just go with these two examples. Of course, some people may say, well, if I'm considering a Tesla Model Y, I'm also considering maybe a BMW that takes premium gas, but we're just going to go with a more economical, cheaper hybrid Honda. Gas cost in Ontario, Canada was $1.50 a liter for gas. So the CRV hybrid has 53-liter tank. So that's $79.50 of fuel per fill up. So if you drove the 30,000 kilometers that I drove, you're going to spend about $3,021 in gas, and you're going to need approximately 4 oil changes at around $100 per oil change, according to Mississauga Honda. So that's $400 there, so you're $3,421. The other thing to think about is insurance costs. Hondas cost more to insure, especially in southern Ontario, because there is a higher theft rate of automobiles. I don't remember the exact number. There's something like 50 cars per day in the GTA stolen, and Honda is up there in the ranks of the most stolen vehicles. So you're going to have to factor in insurance, but I'm not even including that into the calculations here for this video. And if we account for my road trips, because someone buying these vehicles might be doing something similar to what I did over the last year, you'd be paying $1,118 in fuel to drive this Tesla. So it's going to cost you 3 times as much to drive the Honda CRV at $3,421. Well, just a little bit less than 3x, but still about triple. So you're saving roughly $2,200 over that 16-month period that I had it. Over the lifespan, you're going to definitely make up that difference in initial purchase price pretty quickly, actually. In the past, as Teslas were higher priced and quite a significant price increase from a gas vehicle. The break-even point was a longer time horizon, but now it has been shortened quite a bit as the prices have come down on Teslas. But what other expenses have I had on the Tesla? So there's been no other expenses, major expenses, other than windshield washer fluid, which any car, the Honda CRV or any other vehicle, is going to have that exact same thing that you're going to need to do if you're using the windshield washer fluid. What's something else that I'll have to spend money on is going to be tires. I'm actually going to be buying winter tires here soon. Stay tuned for a video on that. I'm going to get the Michelin X-Ice tires, which I had on my Model 3 as well. Michelin X-Ice grips way better, but the stock tires that came on this car have been fantastic in the winter. They're a mud and snow tire, and they have done perfectly fine in the winter. Now that I've gone from the Model 3 and the Model Y down to just the Model Y, I'm going to get the proper solid winter tires for the car. Plus I want to make some road trip videos in the winter to see how it does in the colder temperatures in the snow and sleet. So stay tuned to the channel for that. Smash the subscribe button if you want to see those videos. So it hasn't been all roses and rainbows with the Tesla Model Y. I have had an issue where I had a faulty airbag sensor in the passenger seat. That took a little bit of time to resolve. There is a video here on the channel that you can check out on that and my experience with that and how Tesla handled it. Overall, they did a fantastic job. It took a bit of trial and error to figure out what the actual issue was, but they were able to sort that out, and I've had no issues since then. So I did mention I did the Florida road trips. How did it handle on those road trips? Was it a seamless experience? Was it terrible? First road trip down, had some issues with the charging infrastructure. Well, not the charging infrastructure. We had an issue with the payment processing, which created some errors for any Canadian that was in the States charging. It would mess up your payment info and not be able to charge you, which then would lock you out of the supercharging because it wasn't able to process the payment. That got sorted out and all figured out, and then it was perfect after that. And going around the second time when we went back to Florida, we had no issues driving there and driving back. The charging network is seamless with Tesla. In the States, there is so many chargers. There's no concern there. Going across Canada, they're a bit more stretched out if you take the Trans-Canada Highway all the way across, but there is enough charging and superchargers there to make it from stop to stop, but you can't just skip one and go to the next one, where in the States you can do that plenty often because there is just an abundance of superchargers, and you shouldn't really have a concern on that regard if you're doing traveling with your electric vehicle. And in Europe, tons and tons of chargers. The infrastructure is fantastic across Europe. One day I want to get out there and do a road trip with the Tesla. I've even contemplated shipping the Tesla all the way to Europe and doing a road trip. Let me know what you guys think on that. And if any brands want to work together on some crazy idea like that, please reach out to the email down in the description below. I'd love to make that trip happen. So how does it drive and handle? It drives and handles great. It is a bit bumpy sometimes, gotta admit that. You can see it in some of my videos where I'm going over bumps and it's kind of just bouncing me around a little bit. Now the suspension is a bit firm, and that's due to the heavy weight of the car. They got to have a decent suspension to handle that. That's going to last longer. They did have suspension issues back in the past, so of course Tesla wants to rectify that and not have to worry about warranty issues with the suspension any longer, so they have a bit of a stiffer suspension in there. Now of course there's aftermarket suspension you can get. If you want a smoother ride, go for the air suspension on the Model X, the Model S, or the Cybertruck, which comes standard, but that is at a higher price point for sure. But remember, if you are ordering a Tesla, you can use the referral link down below. In Canada, you get $1,300 off Canadian. In the States, you get $1,000 or $500 off, depending on which model you're purchasing. If you want more information on the ordering process and some of the incentives, make sure to click the video at the top corner of the screen here. And I'm always keeping you guys updated on when deals are coming on the vehicles. So subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and you will be notified. As we enter near the end of 2024, there's going to be more deals on Teslas for sure. Tesla is known to push out deals. I will keep you updated and get you the best deal that you can get on your Tesla. If you have any questions, or if I missed talking about anything that you're interested in the Tesla Model Y, or you want to learn, search the channel, leave a comment down below. watch some other videos, share it with a friend if you found it useful, and thank you for watching. Subscribe, watch this video. Watch this video. Oh my goodness, this video looks amazing. Watch it now. Dude, this video is even better. Check it out. And subscribe right there. Yep, subscribe.